Hello, welcome to Star Child Links, and this is going to be a video about um, Venus, Venus Retrograde, and a little update about my stars. Uh, uh. Mm, 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 mm. Is it upright? Well, yeah, now it's upright. So, um, first about my own runes. So I've done two so far, and I've made posts about it. I mean, not posts, videos about it. And then I went on to the Ogham rune. Sorry, not Ogham rune. Rowan staff. Looks like this. And this one, Rowan, means power and protection, more like. It'll protect you from lightning. It protects you from all kinds of magical and psychic attacks. And the funny thing was that while I was carving this, I was also watching this anime called Magi, the Kingdom of Magic. And I just happened to be watching an episode where there were these bunch of red-haired warriors, and now Rowan is also associated with the color red, and so it's associated with the color red. And I'm watching this anime with red-haired warriors that are basically, with their bare hands, they are fighting against wizards. They are deflecting magical attacks. They are punching through uh, the wizard's magical barriers. They're literally like just punching through it. And I saw that and I was like, wow. And there was this female character in there that was really cool. She was trying to be very genteel, but she has that Finalis blood in her, so that's what they're called. The red-haired warrior clan, they're called Finalis. So she has that blood in her, so whenever there's a fight, she gets all heated and excited about war and punching the shit out of people. So while I was making that, I realized that I carved it the fastest out of all of the runes I've done so far, which is only 3. And my mind was not quiet, okay? It was really loud. It was, what is this going to mean? What's happening here? Blah, blah, blah. It's just loud. But then I was aware also. I was really aware about all the thoughts that were going in my head. It's not like, there was noise and I wasn't even realizing it, no. And it kind of made me realize that unlike the birch one and the reed one, where I was totally vibing with it while I was carving, the rowan staff was, well, I was kind of noisy in my head because I need to work on my inner warrior. There's no two ways around it. So anyway, that's that for my Rowan runes. I mean, Ogham runes. Shit. I really need to work on the way I'm naming it. So anyway, So now that we are done with that topic, I wanted to talk about Venus retrograde. And so, Venus retrograde, I did a reading, and it turns out that Venus retrograde is going to be about growing a backbone, about getting confident, about getting getting more you and loving you, because there are three facets to it that I know of. One is your perceptions about who you are and what you need to hide from the rest of the world so that people are okay with you, so that they love you. And it's about getting into that headspace and really asking yourself, do I really need to hide this part from the rest of the world? Do I really need to share this part of me? And things like that. Like it's all about things like, are people going to attack me if I do this? If I be this way, are people going to mock me? Are people going to what's the other word? Leave me. Yeah. I don't have that issue, so it took me a while to remember that one. So yeah, are people going to leave you if you behave a certain way or whatever? So there's that. And on the emotional level, it's like during this Venus retrograde, we are all going to be going through a thawing period. Like our heart has a few frozen parts, if it's not all frozen. It has a few frozen parts that needs to release itself and kind of soften and kind of get back into operational mode. And that means that we're going to feel pretty awkward for quite a while. At least in the beginning of the retrograde, it's going to be painfully awkward, cringe-worthy stuff. But slowly, and this is if you make an effort to socialize or talk to people, at least the ones that you feel safe around, and let some sunshine into your heart. So the way I see this part is that, okay, for me, although with showing my face on in this channel, on these videos, I feel more confident now than I was before, and it shows on my face while I talk, and the words that come to my mouth faster than it used to before. But in spite of all of that, I feel like my face is not as expressive as it used to be when I was young, because I've recently been remembering my childhood photos, like when I was 10 or something, and the kind of expressions I had was just out there, really. I had a really expressive face, and I don't know how, somewhere along the way, I've just toned it down so much that it's just become, I can't break out of this unless there's really something surprising, something to really push me emotionally in a way that shows itself on my face. So I feel that's something I need to work on. And like, for example, right, while I'm texting someone, I am this happy girly um, person with a lot of yay and a lot of smiley faces all over, but and and that feels true because that's how I am in my head. But I'm not when I'm talking to some person. I don't really go yay. I don't really go yay. Oh my god, I love you and all that stuff. No, I don't do that. If I do that, I say it in this tone, and it's like muted, like colors are muted, or muted pastel tones kind of thing. So yeah, and I've begun to realize that because my emotions, I think it's because of there's a part of my heart that's kind of frozen, and I believe a lot of people out there are in the same place that I am. So with this half frozen heart, there's only half of my expressions that are really coming out the way the sagel in my head is wanting them to come out. So, and this, how is this affecting my relationships? Is that people automatically think that I'm not really interested, or they have trouble believing that I am interested in something. And unless I'm really, really, really interested in something, that there are like levels, okay? But yeah, I think you get what I mean. So, and then the other part is about cutting off people, relationships, habits, and things like that that are toxic to you, that are kind of spreading like an infection and sucking the joy out of your life. I actually haven't figured out what that is in my life yet. I guess I'll find out as Venus retrograde progresses. But as of now, I have no idea. Because as far as I can see, it's probably a habit, because I have this thing where I try and limit my excitement. I try and yeah, I think a lot of people have this too. They think it's not that they think that anymore. I think it's become more of a habit where you've always been, ever since your childhood, you've always been toning down your excitement levels just because of the number of times that you've been disappointed, the number of times that you've looked like a fool when all your hopes have been dashed to the ground, and things like that. So, yeah, Venus retrograde is about fixing all of that. And I think there is one other thing too. So, this connects back. I'm sorry, I'm getting messages. Never mind. So, this connects back to the video I did about the void. And the void and damn it, I can't concentrate on this while I'm talking about the void. Yeah, it connects back to the void and the fact that artists need to treat their depression like as if they have a pregnancy. And so I want to talk about that pregnancy part a little more, because I think it's connected to Venus retrograde in a way. And it's just a suspicion. I haven't done a reading on this to see, to get any confirmation, but I have a strong feeling that there are certain women out there right now, or maybe even men, that feel pregnant, okay, like energetically pregnant. And this is this is the message that I've been getting for quite some while now. You're energetically pregnant, and I'm like, what is that about? And yeah, I don't know. um, and then I met this woman who is a free spirit, kind of like me. And she had a baby, although she never wanted one and never thought she'd ever have one, but decided to keep the baby anyway. And I was like, wow, okay. For a free spirit like you that never wanted a husband, never wanted a baby, um, what, what, how did it change you? Because I know not all mothers are the same. Uh, some really take to motherhood like as if, it's been their sole purpose. They've been born on this earth to be a great mother and raise someone. Um, but, and then there are free spirits that are kind of like mothers in a way, because they keep creating things, they keep giving birth to things, and once they give birth to them, they just let them go out into the universe. So that's that's the free spirit. And when a free spirit like that gives birth to a child, it's now she already has a pattern of giving birth and then letting it go into the world, but that's not going to work for a child, is it? And so how does that change you? How does it change your priorities? How does it change how you look at yourself? So there's all of that, but I don't want to get into that right now. I want to get into something more immediate, more pressing, because there are a lot of women out there, a lot of people, guys, I don't know, who are energetically pregnant, and they might have gotten this message already, and they're like, okay, so I am, so let's just see what happens, that kind of thing. But no, you really need to take care of yourself. And this lady that I was talking to really told me about how it changed for her, in the sense that she always used to take care of herself, she always used to work out and things like that. But it's when she got pregnant that she took it to a whole new level. She did not think that she could take care of herself in this way. She did not think that it was ever even necessary to take care of herself in this way. And yeah, and it changed a lot of things for her. Simple things like drinking water to kind of emotional things like and also simple, like just sitting in bed with your mother next to you and giving a lot of love to your baby, listening to some really good music. So what I'd suggest is that all of you energetically pregnant women and men out there, this Venus retrograde is going to push you to love yourself on a whole new level, because you're not just giving love to yourself anymore. You are giving love to something else in you, something wonderful and magical in you that is going to take birth in the near future. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it is new life being created. And that kind of new life, any kind of new life, needs a lot of love in order to exist in this world in a healthy and productive way. So, you know what I am going to do? I am going to get a fucking book that explains how, like, get a book for expecting mothers and read up all about self care and things like that. And whatever makes sense to me, whatever I can apply that seems useful, other than, going to get a sonogram, that doesn't apply to me. But everything else that does, I'm going to apply it to myself and see how that goes. Yeah. As I even talk about it, I'm like, there's this part in me that goes, really, you're going to follow a pregnant lady's uh, uh, instruction manual on how to take care of yourself and the baby with it? But I feel like my intuition is with me on this. I need to do it. And if you've been getting similar messages, you need to step up your self-love game. Yeah. So anyway, that's it for now, and I really wonder what rune it is, what staff it is that I'm going to make right now. Because, I've been talking about pregnancy and self-love. Interesting. Okay, bye-bye.